Welcome back to The Explainer. If you've ever spent a sleepless night hovering over your little one, just agonizing over whether you're doing enough to keep them healthy, well, this one is absolutely for you. Today, we're diving straight into the fascinating and, frankly, often frustrating journey of childhood health and development. Let's get right into it. If you're a parent, I can guarantee you've looked at your kid in a moment of sheer exhaustion and asked yourself, why is my child always sick? It really can feel like this endless, totally exhausting cycle of tissues and thermometers. And right after that thought, you've probably wondered about all the just weird, unexplainable things their bodies do during those early years. You find yourself asking, why does my baby have so many strange symptoms? It gets incredibly overwhelming when you're suddenly analyzing every single sneeze, hiccup, or random red spot. But honestly, the most maddening part of all is when you actually seek professional help. You schedule the appointment, you sit in the waiting room, you finally see the pediatrician, only to be met with this incredibly common, seemingly dismissive phrase. They will grow out of it. Let's be real, for a lot of anxious parents, hearing that sounds almost like medical neglect. It leaves you feeling completely helpless, thinking, how can I just wait? I need to do something right now. There's this massive communication gap happening here. It's a clash between our raw parental instinct to protect and a doctor's deep trust in biology. As parents, we hear do nothing, which our brains immediately translate to I don't care. But what doctors actually mean is I understand what is happening, monitor the situation, and let normal development continue. They know exactly when time itself is the best medicine. So the core foundation of this whole explainer, the one thing we absolutely need to keep in mind today is this. Children are not just miniature adults. We simply cannot look at their bodies and their symptoms through the lens of our own adult biology. It doesn't work that way. Think about it. Unlike our fully formed, settled adult bodies, a child's body is literally an active construction zone. Their lungs, their nervous system, their digestive tract, even their temperature control, they are all still building themselves. And here is the truly fascinating part. That rapid, massive growth can actually create symptoms all on its own. So, what does this actually look like? Let's take a look at how this biological maturation plays out in the real world. Take infant colic, for example. It's a classic scenario. You've got this period of prolonged crying and intense discomfort in a baby who is otherwise perfectly healthy. A newborn might scream for hours, and you naturally assume something is terribly wrong. But more often than not, they don't need stronger medicine. They literally just need time for their immature nervous and digestive systems to figure out how to sync up. Or how about hemangiomas? Those are those small red marks you sometimes see on a baby's skin right after birth. Now, this is incredibly difficult to accept because your instinct just screams for immediate treatment. But medical research shows that the best decision here is often just patient observation. The vast majority of these marks will naturally shrink and fade away over time, all on their own. And this whole construction zone idea brilliantly explains why kids in daycare seem to catch literally every single bug. When a child's body encounters a new virus, the immune system has to recognize the threat and then build the protection. Every single infection is actually a necessary building block. The goal isn't a child who never gets sick. The goal is building a strong, adaptable internal defense system for adulthood. It's the exact same logic with certain early food reactions. You might see an early rash pop up after giving them strawberries, and you immediately panic about a lifelong allergy. But often, these disappear just because their maturing digestive system eventually learns how to process the food. A 2-year-old might react, but a proper evaluation a few years later shows they can eat them perfectly fine. We see this structural immaturity play out with ear infections too. I mean, why do little ones get these so often? It's literally just their anatomy. The small tubes connecting the middle ear and the throat are significantly shorter and positioned way differently than they are in adults. These infections naturally decrease as the child physically grows and those tubes shift into their adult position. Fast forward a bit to the dreaded teenage years, and we see time playing that exact same crucial role with issues like acne. Driven by massive hormonal changes and highly active oil glands, acne is practically a rite of passage. And sure, treatments definitely help manage it, but time is the real factor here. Once puberty ends, the systems settle down, and the acne typically just improves on its own. And then there are these totally terrifying quirks of a developing nervous system. Things like a trembling chin when they cry, wildly intense emotional reactions, or even breath-holding episodes during a tantrum. It is so easy to panic, but usually these are just temporary glitches in a nervous system that's still figuring itself out.
Now, we have to be absolutely crystal clear about something here. While so many things resolve naturally, not everything is something a child will simply outgrow.
A good doctor absolutely knows the difference between normal maturation and a real critical red flag. If you are seeing signs of diabetes, serious neurological issues, persistent developmental problems, or any symptoms that consistently worsen over time, you do not wait. Those unusual and worsening symptoms always require immediate professional medical evaluation.
But ultimately, being the patient parent it's incredibly hard. The toughest part about the whole concept of outgrowing a health issue isn't the medical science at all. It's the massive emotional toll it takes on you. You want to protect them, right? You want a quick fix so they don't have to be uncomfortable for even a second. But not every single symptom needs a pill, and not every difference needs a treatment. Sometimes the absolute smartest action you can take is careful, informed observation. Just giving your child the time they need to grow. So, next time your pediatrician says they'll probably grow out of it, try to reframe that in your mind. Don't automatically hear, I don't care. Instead, listen for the profound statement of trust that it actually is. I understand what is happening, and I trust your child's innate ability to develop.
I'm going to leave you with this to chew on. Is your best parenting strategy treating every single symptom that pops up? Or is it knowing when to patiently allow nature to just do its work? Because true empowerment really comes from understanding the incredible self-building machine that is your child's body. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, stay curious, and I'll catch you next time.